Hey guys, welcome back. It's Claytano. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. And it is day 22 of the 30-day video challenge. The challenge where I take the first comment from the previous video, and that's the video that I make in the following day. And the last comment was to actually just do a video that I want to do. And because it's free rune removal, I was able to rune some of my monsters for real-time arena. And I got up to around 1557, as you can see here in the top right corner. But it started placing me against these G2 players, and you guys may have heard of some of these guys before, OMG Leo, Forest Knight especially. But honestly, I was actually really surprised that it started placing me with G2 players when I was only Conqueror 3, just barely getting into Conqueror 3 at 1504, and the next fight, literally the next fight, it placed me against OMG Leo, which is over 1900 points. That's like super high, and I don't understand what Comptuous is thinking with the placements here and how they could ever expect anybody to rank up with this kind of stuff happening. But let's take a look at the fights and see how they worked out. Alright, so up first we have my fight against OMG Leo. I first picked Varad, then he went into Velajuel with Wind Monkey King. I brought 2 buff strippers so that way I can make room for my Varad, my Zeros, and my Dover, but then he went ahead and banned my Varad, and then I banned his Velajuel. But look here, I was able to get the first turn here, but I wasn't able to proc against the Wind Monkey King, which left me pretty susceptible here with not being able to stun everybody throughout the board. And then I missed a stun on Chassoon, and then Fiery Breath, I was hoping to God that it landed on the Chassoon, and it just didn't. I kept getting countered on every single attack that I had, and then here comes the Wind Monkey King, doing massive damage against my Dover, one-shotting it here with just his second skill. So crazy runes on that Wind Monkey King, I'm sure. Then he was able to stun my Zeros, not giving me a turn, and from there it was pretty much GG. I just hit that quit button because there's no coming back from that. But really my ultimate goal or my objective was to remove the will runes, land a defense break on everyone, land the bombs, land Zeros on everybody, and then move forward and just CC from there. But it didn't actually work out in this one. But let's take a look at the other ones. So the second fight against Hiamina, I only lost 1 point from that loss against OMG Leo, by the way. I went from 1504 to 1503 because the difference was so huge. I went with the same strategy though against Hiamina that I did against OMG Leo, and this one came really close, just right down to the wire. He was able to get the first turn because he had that Sierra leader skill, and then he had the Swift Bastet here that was able to just boost up the attack bars, and then I thought with him not using the attack bar boost from Bella I was going to get the next turn, but I didn't. I was able to bounce back a little bit from here because he wasn't able to kill any of my monsters off that first turn. It left my Zeros super low, but I was able to come back here. I went ahead and froze the second time because I didn't hit the Bella or the Sierra, which was the real threat in my opinion. She countered against my Zeros, killed him because he was so low, and then my Dover came in, dropped some bombs here, and then I was able to use my decreasing attack bar skill from Triton, and then I had another Ice Bolt up from the Varad. The bomb was able to stun Sierra. I was able to throw on a skill blocker from the Triton, and then this one was able to stun it. This was a really pivotal point. If I didn't hit all those stuns there, it could have turned the game dramatically into Hiamina's favor. Then I was able to hit that Varad. No violent procs from Varad yet, just keep in mind, he is on violent. And then passing time, I was super scared that he was going to be able to, violent proc and then put a bomb on me, but he wasn't able to. And then the Bastet wasn't still able to kill my Dover. My Dover is holding it out super strong right now. Then I had a super clutch full team freeze from Varad. He was able to hit all of his skills. Dover was able to come in. No violent proc from Sierra. And then again, reduce the attack bar with Triton. Now throw a snowstorm on. Pretty much from there, GG. I won like 30 points from that fight. Lastly here we have the fight against Forest Knight. Again, same exact strategy that I had against the other people. There's really not a whole lot of different teams that can counter this, but going from this situation, I specifically banned the Wind Monkey King because he had all buff gaugers. I wasn't really sure what he was trying to do with it. You know, if he had 1 or 2, then he probably could have got the first turn against me, but he put 3 of them in there, plus the wind Sylvia, and basically he had no threat. I was pretty much just holding out against him. The Orion wasn't able to remove any of the will runes, and then I was just waiting for all the skills to come. It took me a while, but then I was able to come back, time bomb everybody, because I knew if I didn't time bomb and I used the stun, chances are he could have violent procced, swift procced, whatever it might have been, and I wanted to at least make sure I had the bombs on there. It was really close though. I should have been a little bit more careful on my skill choices, because if you look back in the video, I wasn't able to stun the Tiana. I wasn't able to put a bomb on the Tiana. And if my Zeros didn't come in clutch against the Tiana and reset his skills, then he could have, or she could have, removed all the buffs off, all those bombs, all those stuns. Everything would have been completely gone. And that was super, stupid on my end. I should have been more aware of that going into it and used an actual stun first off of the Dover, or violent procced into my second skill from the Varad, but I didn't. But luckily Zeros had enough accuracy to land his third skill on the Tiana, and I came out with a win. Again, gained about another 30 points from this win against Forest Knight as well, because of the extreme point difference between C3 and G2. But let's go ahead and take a look at the runes for the 5 monsters that I used in the 3 RTA matches here. And first off, we have Gemini with 100% accuracy. You'll see that he has around 232 speed in total, a little bit of HP, not as much as I would probably like on Gemini, but then if you look at his runes, it's Despair, Revenge set, and I'll just click through the runes here real quick. If you guys want to take a little bit more time, go ahead and pause the video as I go through them. It's not a whole lot that's special, but having the accuracy on slot 6 really makes it easy to build speed and have that accuracy as well. Next up, we have the Varad here, which is 100% an RTA MVP. If you have Varad, use it on RTA. It is amazing to have the freeze and the attack bar reduction, but if you take a look, the runes here plus 127 speed, which puts it around 220 speed total, which is less than what my Gemini is. A little bit too much less than I'm hoping for, but it's still less because you want to make sure that the Gemini goes first to clear out any will runes, shield runes, anything like that, to make room for the Varad coming in afterwards. Accuracy is a little bit less than what I would like it to be as well, at 40%. You probably want to get it to around 60 plus at least, and then I have pretty nice defense and HP, so I'm happy about that. But I'll just click through the runes on this one as well here. As you can see, nothing too crazy, I would assume. A few of the runes are pretty legit, but other than that, it's pretty doable. Up next is my Zaros here, and he doesn't really get used a whole lot in RTA from other players, but for my team, the way I run him, it works perfectly to have that skill reset, and the speed is just 1 speed slower than the Varad, so they're pretty much equal across the board, but I always first pick Varad, so I know that he's going to go first no matter what. But if you take a look at the crit rate at 98%, it is definitely not the flashy Zeros that you're probably gonna see from other players, but again, I work with what I have, and that's what that's all I can do. So to take a look here, attack is at over 1,000, HP is at over about 20,000 there as well. Accuracy is a little bit lower at 35%. Of course, you want to get that as high as possible because Zeros is super important in today's meta with all these Samaths and Pernas and Theomars and all the other things that you guys just want to make sure that you're resetting. 35% is a little bit low, unfortunately, on my end. I just don't have the other runes to make that higher. But let's take a look here at the runes. Again, I'm just going to click through these real quick here. Pretty much accuracy on every slot if I can. It's just not a super high substat. And of course, speed. The speed tuning was the key behind all of this, okay? Next we have Triton that I went ahead and revamped from Despair Will into Swift Nemesis. So I really wanted him to be as fast as possible. At 264 speed, he's a little slow. He does get outsped a few times, but really I still wanted to make sure I was focusing on having as much accuracy as possible with the speed that he has currently. He also has about 30,000 HP and a little over, I don't know, I'd say probably 1,100 defense. But here's his runes here. You can take a look as well. a lot of accuracy on these substats because, again, I want to make sure that he has the accuracy built in here. But the idea behind the Triton being on Swift is that he has the leader skill from the Gemini to boost that speed, reduce everybody's attack bar, and then remove the will runes or the shield runes or anything else that I have, and then come in with a defense break from Gemini, come in with a attack bar reduce from Varad, stun them, and do whatever else I have to do with, you know, Zeros and Dover. Speaking of Dover, I absolutely love using Dover in RTA. I have him a little bit faster than my other monsters, but he still goes right after Gemini. So keep in mind, Gemini is still going to be that first initial buff remover, and then Dover's going to come in. He has a attack bar reduction skill on his third skill. He has the bombs, he has everything that he needs. He has a little bit of accuracy here at 40%. Of course, I'd like that to be a little bit higher. The attack is pretty nice, around 2300 attack, and the speed is right at 229 speed, so it's amazing. A little bit squishy, not gonna lie, he gets pretty popped, but that's about it. If we take a look at his runes though, he has Fatal Will, and Will is super important because if they have anything crazy that they're coming at you with, like an Amduat or something like that, having that Will is really nice to just kind of mess with some other people. But we have the speed here, slot 2, we have this rune, attack slot 4, and attack slot 6, of course, and that makes up my Dover here. But really, with these 5 monsters, I've seen a lot of success. They were actually the ones that were able to boost me into that 1500 ranking previously throughout the RTA events when they were giving out those wings, those super cool wings and stuff. And I wanted to get back to this for this new RTA meta, and I'm gonna use this for now until it stops working. But if you guys like this video, go ahead and hit subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment as well, and as always, stay soupy, don't be potatoes, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.